What's going on, everybody? What is going on? It is Sunday, December 10th, 2023, and we are here to talk about this GTA 6 trailer that dropped a couple days ago and why it has a certain sector of this establishment up in arms. But before we actually get into everything, make sure y'all go ahead and hit that like button, hit that share button. I would greatly appreciate it if you would subscribe to the channel. Welcome. Make sure to have the bell click so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live. Shout out to all of my patrons on Patreon. Shout out to those in the Discord, people who follow me on Twitter and Instagram as well. Let me go ahead and give the acknowledgments and we will go from there. We have Craig Colson, Miss Butterscotch, Baby Toshiro, Cool Spider, Lazy Eagle 215, Juju Hawkins, Haxon KT, SD Johnson 857, Platinum Podcast, Chris G, Wallow J, Till Dog 12, Real Beautiness 25, Miriam RDQ. Shout out to Savion for being a member for 1 month. He said if they hating about this now, imagine when GTA San Andreas came out, they must have been losing their shit. Actually, I don't even know how they were sounding when GTA San Andreas came out, but I'm glad you mentioned that because I'm going to incorporate that into this live stream. But shout out to you for being a member, a continued member of the channel. We have JM Y'all, Chris Vesey, Mustang Crazy, Chosen One, Trevon, Andre Smith Jr., Q2 Wise, Hacksign KTRY, Bills Fan 1970, The Prince of Paraphernalia, Retro Gemini 99, and Irvin Green. So yeah. How many people in the chat right now watched the broadcast that the Black Authority did last night on this same topic? If you watched it, put a 1 in the chat. That was a very, very good broadcast. That was a very good broadcast. And I'm going to tell you this right now. If I wasn't going live today talking about this, I probably would have called in last night. But the reason I didn't call in is because if I called in, I would have said on the broadcast what I'm going to talk about today. So I wanted to keep what I wanted to say more close to the chest. So that's why I did not call in. But shout out to the Black Authority because he did a very, very good, thorough breakdown of a couple of situations, even outside of what I'm going to talk about today. That part when he was going in on Tim Pool, that was probably, besides the obvious, was probably one of the better parts of the broadcast, which was, of course, in the second half of the broadcast after the commercial break. But he did a very, very good breakdown of that. So I'm seeing a lot of 1s in here. So yeah. But if you haven't had a chance to finish it, make sure y'all go watch it, but make sure you do it after my stream. Don't do it now. Do it after my stream. But yeah. So GTA 6, the long, and I do mean long awaited Grand Theft Auto 6th installment has officially started the rollout. They dropped their first trailer for this game a couple nights ago, and the internet went crazy. I believe the trailer as of right now is currently sitting at 137 million views worldwide, and it hasn't even been out a week yet. I think it's right now currently the most fastest watched video on and most highest watched video in a short amount of time on YouTube right now, because it's very highly anticipated. It's slated to come out in 2025. I know a lot of people's like, oh, now we got to wait another 2 years. Hey, listen, I can be patient. As a matter of fact, the last major game that I played before I stopped really playing games like that was GTA 5. And what's crazy is GTA 5 has literally spanned over a decade because it went past just being a regular story. They kept that thing going for 10 years and it's still going strong. And it's probably going to continue to be like that up until GTA 6 comes out. And then that might probably die down a little bit because everyone's going to reshift their focus. Magic Man said, keep in mind how Miles Morales and Ultimate if it got pushed back. Also, don't forget the. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk about quite a bit today. We're going to talk a bit today, even outside of what I'm going to talk about with what I have to show you, because it's a lot of things that go into this besides just this trailer. This trailer is a symptom of a bigger issue that a certain sector has. Because trust me, it didn't start with this trailer. It's been like this for a while. But what I'm going to go ahead, Retro Gemini said I was a freshman in high school. Man, you were young. You were young. You said you was a freshman in high school when GTA 5 dropped. When GTA 5 dropped, I was 24. That's crazy. You was what, 14? That's insane. Y'all up here trying to make me feel old. But before I get into it, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen, and I'm going to play for you the video that has got them up in arms. And I swear it's just a small sector of people that are pissed about this. So I'm going to go ahead now and I'm going to play the trailer. So just in case people may or may not have seen it yet, but I'm sure many of you have, but for context purposes, we're going to play it.
Lucia, do you know why you're here?
Bad luck, I guess. Well, look who's back. The only way we're gonna get through this is by sticking together, being a team. Trust?
Trust.
So that right there is the trailer. I decided to play, for context purposes. I'm sure many of y'all in this chat have already seen it. The only part of this trailer that if you wanted to be upset about something, in my honest opinion, is that part at the bottom of the logo that says coming 2025. Because people, like I said, were saying, oh God, now we got to wait a whole nother year and some change. Listen, I can be patient. I can be patient. It's just they're telling you right now, hey, it's coming. It's happening. We're just teasing you a little bit, but that's fine because then that means over the next year, they can throw out other little things leading up to the release. Now, I don't know when in 2025 is going to come out, but if I had to be a betting man, I'm going to say it's going to roll out at least probably somewhere in the third quarter. Maybe around that fall region. If we're lucky, maybe the summer. The summer would actually be more ideal because the kids are out of school. So, a lot of people are going to want to play this game. They won't have much of a distraction. And when I say kids, I'm not just talking about like grade school kids or, things like that. I'm talking about people who are in college. They're not kids, they're technically adults, but like college age and even high school age. So my assumption is that it's probably going to be the summer. That is personally when I would do it. Now, when I looked at this trailer, I said, my God, the people who worked on this game, they put their all into this because it is amazing how real this game looks. It got to the point when I was looking at the trailer, I was like, am I looking at a trailer for a game or a movie? Because it looks so real. Now, notice Grand Theft Auto Vice City is probably one of the best Grand Theft Auto games in the series, hands down. But if you look at how Vice City was back in the early 2000s, because again, that was innovative for the time, and you look at how they have it here now, which we all know Vice City is the code name for Miami. It's like night and day. Now look at this right here. Someone actually had pulled a picture up and put a side-by-side image of Vice City and this game right here as far as the trailer. And they like in Vice City, the beach was empty. It was like no people, like no one on the beach. Like that's as far as it went. Was they had some sand, some water, and some buildings, or hotels or whatever. But on this one, you got the water, the sand, the people, the beach towels, the drinks, the suntan lotion, the umbrellas, the jet skis, the birds, the helicopters, all of that flying all at one time. Now, something that Jason Black pointed out last night in his broadcast is if you look all over here, like look at this. It's a lot of melanin in this one shot. It's a lot of it. But if anyone's ever been to Miami, and I've been to Miami, knows this is an accurate depiction of Miami. This is a very accurate depiction of Miami right here, what you see on your screen. From how it looks on the beach down to the actual nightlife. And of course, everybody was real happy to see the strip club back. I think the funniest part that made me laugh in this part was they actually had something called Make It Rain Mondays. Because in the I think in GTA 5, I don't think they had the strip club. I don't think they had the strip club in GTA 5, but I'm glad they brought it back. They brought it back. Let me see something else. Hold on. Right here. This is the Miami Strip right here. Perfect layout of what a night's life or evening life in Miami would look like on that strip. Kasul says, are you getting GTA 6? Well, I'll put it this way. Is the sky blue? And of course, everybody was going crazy at this part right here, with her twerking on top of the car. Again, another very accurate depiction of Miami. I don't know if anyone's ever seen these videos that they put out on YouTube a few years ago during the pandemic, and it was called Only in Florida. But there was a series of videos called Only in Florida. If they thought what they saw in this trailer was something, they need to watch those Only in Florida videos, because Florida is a different type of breed. And if you notice, one thing they also implemented in here is, if you look at the bottom right here, is they implemented a social media aspect to the game as well. I forgot what they're trying to do with that, but they implemented a social media aspect into it, much like real life. That's why I said this feels so real. Got some more right here. One thing I'm glad is they got the physics of creating of black characters down, because for a very long time they have had an issue of how to create or do black characters. And also right here, you want to know why they're another reason why they're mad too? Is because they probably didn't like how they saw themselves in this game as far as when they were showing them on screen. So another one example is this one right here. Hold on. You have this big floppy PC dude running away from what looks like a black cop, and he's running around in nothing but his underwear in the rain. Then you have this guy right here who looks like a hillbilly out in the middle of the street grabbing his junk for whatever reason. You have this other guy right here watering his plants wearing a thong. You have PC out here in the mud. And they even threw in a Karen. That's how real they got. They threw in a whole Karen and she's holding too many sledgehammers. Another thing that they got mad at is that they have a female protagonist who is non-white. I believe she is SOB. Because I think her name is Lucia or something like that. And I can't help but think that her design almost looks like Jordan Sparks. That's another thing that I noticed as well. Of course, you know, you got some I'm guessing Cuban right here. You have them on you have the dirt bikes and the ATVs. Now, what I want you to really pay attention to here is, if you notice throughout the trailer, when I was showing you the black characters, and they could very well be NPC or they might be, characters, versus the PC ones that I did show, the black characters seem to be having a lot of fun, while the PC ones are looking like how PC does not like to be represented. So these are the two main characters right here. So you have a female character and a male character. I'm not exactly sure if he's completely PC or not. For all we know, he could very well be a PC SOB. But we'll have to find out as time moves forward. So I just wanted to go through the trailer and just like really point out some things that I noticed looking at the trailer that probably pissed them off. Now, with that being said, let me go ahead and show y'all some screenshots that I came across that were just absolutely ridiculous as it pertained to this trailer. And I'm going to start light and move my way up. And none better to start with than this right here with Elon Musk. Who saw what Elon Musk put up on his platform? He said, tried, but didn't like doing crime. GTA 5 requires shooting police officers in the opening scene, just couldn't do it. It's literally in the title, Grand Theft Auto, which is, to my knowledge, as far as I remember, a crime. So you're already committing a crime right there. So stealing the cars, blowing stuff up, doing robberies, running people over, and all of that other stuff and there's a lot of stuff that goes on. That's fine, but you draw the line when it says, oh, I can't bring myself to kill the police officers. Exactly, chosen one is GTA, not Super Mario. That's actually part of the fun of the game. Exactly, Trevon. He says Elon loves virtue signaling to the far right. If that's the point, if that's where you draw the line at, then then don't even buy the game. Chris says, what's the likelihood of Rockstar releasing the game early? You know what? I kind of thought of that. That thought kind of entered my mind, but it would be dope though. But the thing is, don't release it early if you don't have to, because I think people who are fans of this franchise want this game to be as well done as possible, especially with what we saw right here. Like, again, these were just, as far as we know, like cut scenes. This was not any gameplay. So we don't know what the mechanisms of the gameplay looks like yet. So let this be like a slow rollout. Let them show what they need to show. Build up more hype. I mean, the trailer got 137 million views. You can't get much more hype than that. Let them do their thing. Take their time. I have no problem being patient. But yeah, this is what Elon Musk said. This was just absolutely ridiculous. And like I said, this was the lighthearted statement. Well, not even lighthearted, but it's on the tame level compared to what I'm going to show y'all next. And this tweet right here, or this post right here, is what inspired the title of this stream. So this troll named Gort wrote, "It's black fatigue. It's a thing, I guess." So seeing all those black characters or those black people in this game, in this trailer, is fatiguing. Mind you, these characters that they're seeing aren't the main characters and most likely aren't the characters you're going to play with. As a matter of fact, I'm certain that they are not the characters you're going to play with. You might interact, but they're not going to be characters. But just seeing them as NPCs, and if y'all don't know what NPC stands for, that stands for non-playable character. Just being, let's just say being background, that's fatiguing. You know, there's several places on the planet that you can go to where you won't see that many black people. I would suggest you find a way to get to one of those locations, but you won't do that because then you'll find something else to complain about there. But yeah, this comment right here is what made me title this stream Black Fatigue. But wait, there's more. We have this post right here from somebody named Tony, who said, "People are sick of seeing blacks everywhere. Blacks replacing whites in documentaries, fiction, and now video games. Less than 14% of the population is black in Miami. Diversity is just a code word for erasing whites." Y'all, the fragility is beyond real. I'm talking to infinity and beyond on the Buzz Lightyear side of the game. I wish I could say I was making this stuff up. And also, while he's in here, shout out to Kid Gravity because he did a stream about this. A couple days ago. So shout out to Kid Gravity as well because he talked about it too. They literally take fantasy and fiction to real life. How is it that seeing black people in documentaries, in games, and movies replacing you? First off, if black people are in, what it is this. I know what it is. They talking about that Cleopatra documentary. Right? Y'all remember that? I never got a chance to talk about it, but they're talking about that Cleopatra documentary that came out on Netflix that Jada Pinkett Smith did back in May. Man, listen, they went and review bombed the hell out of that just so that can get a horrible Rotten Tomato score, and then felt like they had a win. Imagine being that butthurt that you're gonna spend all day on this internet just to review bomb a documentary because you didn't like how Cleopatra looked. And they don't just do it with documentaries. They do it with other things as well. Remember what they did with The Little Mermaid. They got upset that Insomniac Games said Miles Morales was going to be the face of Spider-Man in Spider-Man 3 when they come out with Spider-Man 3. It's like someone else in the chat said when they found out Finn was black in the Force Awakens. Recently, Matt Walsh getting upset that Denzel Washington has been cast to play Hannibal for the Netflix movie that's going to be directed by Antoine Fuqua. And so many more examples. Like, I would be here all day. Like I told Kid Gravity, Mafia 3. Y'all remember Mafia 3? Where the main protagonist was a black Italian mixed man? They was mad about that, but they really went over the top when they found out that one of the missions in that game was for him to kill the Klan. When they found out that was a mission, that made the sales of the game go up even higher because people couldn't wait to play it to get to that mission, because something like that, to my knowledge, had never been done before. So yeah, I have a pretty good memory. And again, it's so many more examples that I could go over, but I would be on here for like the next hour just listing all of them. But I got to keep it moving because I know some people want to come up and have something to say. So now we move on to this one right here. This person named Iron Beast. GTA 6 trailer is racist. A disproportionate amount of black people are in this trailer. The only white men they show are degenerate hicks. The only white women are whores. Woke garbage ruined a fun game. What did I tell y'all when I went over the trailer? And shout out to Mike Mellis John for the $5. They said the polygonal melanin was too much for those fragile dub S nurse to handle in one trailer. Where was this anti-woke crowd when San Andreas came out? We're going to get to that. Remember what I said when I was going over the trailer. They did not like how they were portrayed in this trailer. Well, guess what, PC? How do you think we as black people feel when we have been portrayed very negatively over the years in various sources of media? And the thing is, they can't be mad at us. They can be mad at black people all they want, but guess what? Black people don't own Rockstar, the company who has been developing the Grand Theft Auto game since the 90s. So they can cry and complain on the internet all they want. It's not going to stop the massive amount of sales that this game is going to move. The units for this game is going to be absolutely absurd in a good way. So like I said, they can say all they want, but it is what it is. Now, this one right here, this person really showed their ass with this post right here. This person named Craig at CS11_ said 100 miles per hour straight through this beach in GTA 6. That's what I'm looking forward to. How ironic, the beach that has a lot of black people on it, they said they want to run over at the speed of 100 miles per hour. Loosely translated, if this person could do this in real life, they would. Now, keep in mind, in Florida, the state that the snowflake is the governor of, didn't he sign some kind of a bill that if people were protesting and they were blocking like the roadways or something like that, that they would have that if a person driving the car, if they hit them, they wouldn't get no charges or something like that? Someone please correct me if I'm wrong about that. Because I can't remember. Exactly, SD Johnson, just like Charlottesville. Exactly, boy, no one is forcing them to play this game, but they just projecting hard right now. So we know why they would get the game. And the last one I'm going to show y'all before I show you the this little article piece that I want to share with y'all is this one right here from a user named DACA1. They put up a picture and it says it's also tiresome, and how ironic that in all the pictures that they posted is where there are black characters shown in the trailer. They even made sure to insert the picture of the parole officer from the beginning of the trailer because she's a black woman. If they wanted to go off stereotypes alone, she would not be inserted into this equation, but they put her there anyway. So they can't say, oh, stereotypes, because we're going to throw a wrench in your little narrative. She doesn't fit the so-called stereotype that you think that you were trying to cover for what you really want to say. What you're saying is it's tiresome seeing all these black people, even in games. Songwriter said they aren't whining, they're playing victim as a way of preventing any inquisitions regarding something they know they really want to do and get away with. Facts. That's super facts right there. I completely agree with that statement. That's why I said they saying all of this online right now because they feel it's the popular thing to do. They have to have something to talk about. But I guarantee you, when this game comes out, they probably gonna buy it just like everybody else who plans on getting it. So that takes care of that. But I wanted to share with y'all because people kept bringing up San Andreas. I want to share this with y'all. And after I go through this, then I'm gonna drop the link. So look at this right here. This is actually an article from Game Rant, and it was talking about the best-selling Grand Theft Auto games from, you know, the first one all the way down. Grand Theft Auto San Andreas sold 21.5 million units. They said the last mainline GTA game of the PS2 era, before they went on to the PS3, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas was also the most commercially successful of the original 3D GTA trilogy. It sold more than 20 million copies across all platforms and was the best-selling title for Sony's 6th generation console. Now you got to think. This game was coming out at the end of the PS2 era, which means they were about to transition from the PS2 to the PS3. And this game became their highest selling game out of not just GTA, but of all of their games on the PS2 at the end. So it is the third highest selling Grand Theft Auto game. And the main protagonist was a black man. I did not hear them complain back then about this. Why, you may ask? Well, my assumption would be because of where it happened, where it took place. San Andreas was basically supposed to be representing South Central or any hood in California, in LA back in the 90s. So that means most of the quote unquote crime was considered to be what they would label as black on black crime. So it was nothing for them to play this game. And let's be real here. A lot of PC got their, I guess you can say, their street intellect from this game. Now, the highest selling Grand Theft Auto game with 185 million sales was Grand Theft Auto 5. Now, granted, there's 3 characters here, so that was something different for the franchise to have more than one protagonist. However, one of the protagonists happens to be a black man. They weren't complaining then. That's why I can't take them seriously, because if they think on San Andreas that those 21.5 million sales was solely just black people, they are sadly mistaken. Just like if they think that 185 million sales for Grand Theft Auto 5 was solely a lot of black people because there was a black character in there, they are sadly mistaken. Because up until San Andreas, all the main protagonists in Grand Theft Auto were Italian. Then they came out with Grand Theft Auto 5 and they had 3 protagonists. One of them happened to be black. And I thought it was interesting too, because you had a black character who was basically from the hood. Then you had one that was kind of like what's the terminology? One was like a hick, lived in a trailer park. And one who was kind of like well-to-do, but still dealt with a life of crime. You said GTA 3 guy wasn't Italian. Well, forgive me. Well, let me put it this way. All the other Grand Theft Auto games leading up to San Andreas were PC. They just might have been spread across the board. I'll put it like that. So when I see these numbers, I said they can keep their so-called fake outrage. But I know people have something that they want to say about this. So I'm going to go ahead and drop the link. And if anybody would like to come up, feel free to do so. Okay, we got our first person. AW1, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Tony? How you been?
I'm doing good.
Well, I can tell you, as a guy that's played a lot of Grand Theft Auto games, I mean, they're seriously, man. I mean, I thought it was a joke at first, but nah, I mean, but you and Black Authority and a lot of people putting these videos out, these messages out, and then I saw some guy named Tim Pool. I don't know who that fool is.
Oh yeah, Tim Pool.
Yeah, and that's the last time I'm gonna see him, by the way. But putting out saying, oh, white people are representing the worst. I'm thinking, okay, just on the last one, all the black people were literally thugs in number 5, and not to mention San Andreas. That whole gang, almost all the black folks were criminals and were like hood. We're from the hood and thugs.
But like I said before, the reason why I had no problem with it is because it was them living out their black on black crime fantasy.
Exactly.
So that's why they didn't say anything. And like I said, they feel like they do not like how they feel like they are being represented in this trailer. That's why I had to go back. World. Exactly. I said, think about what we go through when we get this type of misrepresentation on screen all the time. I mean, it's a stereotype slipped in there somehow, some way.
Because like I said, San Andreas and even this one, all the black people are in the hood. Because like when you go to the suburbs on those games, you rarely see any black people. You maybe see one.
Yeah.
And like I said, with San Andreas, I mean, they just basically went back to. I mean, they took that. I don't know if you know, but they took that back to the '90s, like from them gangster, like all them gangster movies, Menace to Society and others,
right?
Poetic Justice and stuff. Because I don't know if you remember the scene on number 5 when they went to the warehouse and they met up with an old friend, Stretch, and then Frank was like, "Wait, they ain't the police. This is some baller bullshit. You set us up, man." And then one of them popped the gun. You're the gun like you would in the night, like pop, pop, pop. So they brought that element, like gangster fantasy, to that's their fantasy, like you said.
Exactly.
And like and then with the and then it's like all the white people or white collars. Not even though they did have white folks in the trailer park and stuff. But I mean, but they didn't have like there were like really no gangs out there. All the black communities had gangs.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know what they're complaining about. And then the thing with the woman being the main character, so what? If you don't like it, don't play it.
Yeah,
It's
they even went as far as to try to start this rumor saying that she's trans. I'm like, where did that come from?
I'll put it like this, Torian. Either way, I'm not fucking her. So I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play the game regardless.
Right.
So because especially like I told you, you know I'm a gamer. I'm gonna do my YouTube channel. I'm gonna do a live stream on that. I'm gonna beat the game on there.
Definitely. Well, I plan on getting back into the swing of things, of getting into the gaming, because I've been off for a while. But like I said, GTA 5 was like the last big game that I played before I guess you could say I took a hiatus from doing the gaming thing. And listen, that was one of them games that I just could not put down even after I was done beating it. And I can see why it stayed around.
Oh, yeah, online play is fun, man. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I'll tell you what, I'm gonna let you go, man. I think you're doing a good job. Like I said, you're dropping that hammer as usual. Yeah. And like I said, because I mean, people. It just shows you that. Look, people keep saying racism doesn't exist. This just proves it does.
Exactly.
And people are just. But yeah, I'm gonna let you go, man. Dude, I'm gonna land my plane. You do you, Hammer.
Okay, appreciate it.
All right.
Thank you. What's going on, Jay Moose?
Hey, what's going on, man?
I'm doing good.
So, okay, let me start it with this. I've been a gamer. I was born in '77, so I'm Gen X. 46, actually today's my birthday. And I've been gaming for a long time. I have seen the change, and I know where this has come from. I'll start with the old original top-down view Grand Theft Autos. It always was a mix of races, always, but it was always more predominantly focused, even if it was the side characters, black characters. Once we got to San Andreas, of course, like the last brother said, because it was from the 90s, they had LA, San Francisco, Vegas, and all the little hick towns in between. This new GTA 6 trailer is almost the same thing as back then, because it was showing the hick whites and whatnot. You would still have to deal with them sometimes. It was always, the thing. I know a lot of white people that actually say that San Andreas was their favorite GTA game. The issue is at some point in time, and before I move forward, no disrespect to anybody, okay, any community, but over time, just because I'm also aware about the real world issues, that at some point in time, the all the acronyms, let me just put that way.
I just call it the Academy, because it's like, afterwards, it's like, let me just call it the Academy. That's my code word.
The Academy, they were added into and mixed with the blacks. And so when they started using this woke stuff, like the last Spider-Man game came out, they said all this woke stuff was in there, all these different flags. And now it's almost as if it was like a sidetrack just for them to say, because it was black. So it's not that they can say, oh, all these black people, because now they're being upfront with it by saying it.
Yeah.
But this is nothing. The games have always been racist. Even with, and when I say the games have always been racist, I'm talking about the people that play online. There has always been, racist people talking, and this is where the white man demographic stimulate from. This is where they actually commune and talk. It's not even just Grand Theft Auto. It's any game that you're playing online. Grand Theft Auto was always known for the story. That's why San Andreas did so good. But once they start talking this woke stuff and making the term woke other things that had to do with, things that didn't even have to do with us, it just seemed that now we have, because let's look at the movie aspect, the movies. They complain about a lot of the Marvel. They were saying, oh, it's woke. Well, what's woke? Is it because there's more females? Is it because there's a lot of the Academy, like as you said, in there? Is it because it's a lot of blacks are replacing certain characters, you know, like Nick Fury, you know, what is, say what you want to say. And so now that we have this one in Florida, in Miami, Florida, of course, because the recent DeSantis statements about him saying, hey, you know, any woke culture, you know, it's a death, you know, it's a death sentence. We kill the woke here and whatnot. So that's why I actually think it's becoming more prominent now for them to say this. Because then you are right with the person who was talking about in that post driving on the beach and hitting people. This is where these people get their outlets at. This is what they do in these games. Red Dead Redemption is another game that was made by Rockstar, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm not really a Western type guy, but I bought that game just because there are clan members in there. There are actual slave masters in there, and you can freely go and really take them out, like in any way possible. That's the only reason why I bought that game. And that's another Rockstar game. So Rockstar is not really, you know, the type of company that it tries to make fun of one culture. They make fun of everybody, and they just really like go outlandish with it. So this racism stuff is nothing new to me, because a lot of them just mimic this stuff in real life. You know, what they feel, like you said, like this is what they really want to do. They would really want to ride on the beach and just ride over anything they saw black. So it's really unfortunate, but this game is going to make so much money. It doesn't matter. They're not going to stop. They're still going to buy it, like you said, too. So
definitely.
So, yeah, but thanks for having me on, man.
And no problem. Appreciate you for coming up. Shout out to J Moose. And man, y'all really must have had something to say, because I'm gonna be honest, I always drop the link for certain topics, but this one, so many people came up at one time, it started to go on to the second row. That's crazy. So next up, we have Xavier. What's going on?
Hey,
what's going on?
Good to see you, bro. Really, you're not wrong about that. This was right up my alley. Like, I love gaming. I've been gaming forever. I'm in my 30s now, and I've been gaming since I was a teenager. So, and especially like you, I think Vice City was my favorite GTA too. Like, I think Vice City is the only one I finished. I actually got through, and also GTA 5. But Vice City was my first love, truly. Like, I just loved the freedom and everything. Like, it was crazy. So I just feel like these clowns out here, man. How do we even deal with these people? Like, it makes no sense that you're making a big fuss about a video game that you either never played or you're never planning to play. So, but then let's all be honest. Like, they're lying to themselves. They're gonna go out and buy that game.
Yeah, that's what I said. I said that they going out to buy that game. They just had to have something to talk about on their platform, because that's what they built their platform around. You know, from everything in pop culture. So they feel like they have to do that. They have to appease their audience, and then on top of that, they'll still get paid at the time, you know, to put this nonsense out. A lot of them who say stuff like that don't even believe half the stuff they say. They just say it because they've garnered an audience. You know, the algorithm worked in their favor, and they have to put something out there. And I think a lot of them just like to talk to hear themselves talk.
True. I mean, I know that my kid is probably not going to be old enough to play those games for another couple of years. But once he's old enough, I'm definitely going to get him to play at least one GTA. In fact, during the pandemic, I started playing GTA Online, and it was still as much fun as I remember playing it back then. And, you know, honestly, the seeing this new trailer, I'm like, bro, bring it on. Like, it looks amazing. And here's the funny thing, right? A lot of them make that whole thing about, oh, it's a female character. You're playing as a female character. There's this fool online. I don't know if you know Tim Pool.
Yeah.
That dude is a straight clown. He was saying, oh, that like it's a single mother or something like that, and that's somehow makes it, I don't know, makes it worse. I have no idea what he's even talking about. The guy was just going off on a rant. And I know that idiot is going to buy the game the day it comes out and play it. But he's lying. He's lying so he can generate views. So, like, honestly, to all my gamer friends out there, just block out the noise. Once the game comes out, we're all gonna play it. Yeah, we're all gonna play it, and it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, this is one of the games that's probably gonna pull me out of my retirement.
Oh, really? You're retired? Why?
Like I said, GTA 5 was like the last major game that I played. So I've been, out of it for a while. So, I said this game might be the one that's gonna pull me back. How ironic it's another GTA game. I know I missed out on a lot. I know I missed out on a lot. What I started to do was, if it was a game that I liked, I would just go online and look at the gameplay. I know that's kind of like cheating because I'm not actually playing it myself. But yeah, that's what I was doing. But I said, this is the game right here that's like, of course, really, going to appeal. But it might be some other stuff in between too, because the game don't come out to 2025. So, I'll probably do some other things in between then. But that's the one right there that's really going to, pull me back in. But you got anything else?
Trust me, bro. Like, there's a lot gonna. It's gonna be big. But thanks for having me on again. Really, this was a fun one. Really, your topics are very, 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 very fun. And please keep up the good work. I really appreciate all you do, and I'm just gonna keep supporting you, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Shout out to Xavier. And also, what D Foster said in the chat, they act like Tomb Raider doesn't exist. When I was watching TBA's broadcast last night and he was talking about Tim Pool and what he had to say about female characters, I'm like, y'all gonna sit up there and act like Tomb Raider wasn't holding it down for the female protagonist since the 90s. How many Tomb Raider games have we gotten? We got like 3 Tomb Raider movies. And they ain't say and they want to talk about realism. You have a woman who's literally going around, jet setting around the globe, going to different tombs and unlocking stuff and fighting these entities. And they never once said a thing. If they don't sit down somewhere. But let's next up, Wallow J. Hey, Wallow, I'm kind of disappointed you wasn't the first one up today. When I dropped that link, I was expecting you to pop right on. I
was like, you know what? Let me let everybody else get the first today. So I'm like, what, 3rd, 4th today? So
I think like 4th.
I think 2050 is kind of bothering them right now. 2050, because they thinking, well, black people. They think black people and what is it? Hispanic people are gonna replace them. So I think that's kind of a little bit fear is coming in. But I'm buying the game regardless because I love it. Like, they act like they never seen black people in Miami before. Like, if you ain't never been to Miami, Florida, there's a lot of Caribbeans down there. There's a lot of Hispanic people down there, Cubans, Puerto Ricans, Jamaicans, like people. Y'all don't know this.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't get PC like that, man. They know good as damn well that they're gonna be buying that game. Oh my God, I'm playing as a female for the first time. Like, shut up, people.
Yeah, and I was listening. Now, did you watch Jason Black's broadcast last night?
I gotta finish it because I had something else I had to do.
Yeah, well, he had mentioned it somewhere when he got to the part about Tim Pool, and he was showing a clip from another person on there about how I don't know why they're upset about a female protagonist being in the game, because they were saying how, like, in the first GTA game, there was like 3 or 4 female protagonists. So this is not like the first time they've ever had a female be a protagonist for GTA. It's just that it's been years. It's been a while since they've had one, but it's not the first time.
Exactly. Like, they act like San Andreas is now some woke thing. Like, do y'all like I know y'all talking about earlier about San Andreas, which is that's my favorite title of all time. Because it was basically talking about what was going on in the 90s with the crack era and how the Crash unit was protagonizing all the black gangs and stuff like that. So I guess like that, like I don't understand these stupid people, man. Like, why are you upset about seeing black people on the beach having fun? Like, you didn't see the rednecks in the mud having fun? That didn't bother you?
It did because, but like I said earlier, that's the representation that they don't like to see of themselves, even though it's there.
That's what they do, though. That's thing that they don't understand.
Exactly. Like I said, the trailer did what it was supposed to do. It shows you. That's why I said this is an accurate depiction of Miami.
Exactly. Like the white man outside with a thong on, watering stuff. Yeah, that's what they do. Like they don't know their own culture. Their culture is lame as hell. Yes, I said it. I said the quiet part out loud. Their culture is lame as hell. Black culture is lit. They can't really profit off of Hispanic and Asian culture because there's no profit in their culture. Yeah, I said it too. But it is what it is. Let me just go ahead off and let everybody else talk. I know Kid Gravity gonna have a little troll here for you, but I appreciate you, Tori. Keep up the good work.
Thank you. Appreciate you coming up. Shout out to Wallow J. Next up, we have Juice.
Hey,
what's going on?
Hey, what's up, Torian?
I'm doing good.
B1, brother, man.
B1.
So, I can't help but think about what our brother Neely Fuller said about these guys knowing how to play both sides of the argument when it comes to this topic right here. Like, I don't feel like they are going to stop playing this game. I feel like they're throwing up some kind of weird kind of smoke screen with this chitter chatter, this background noise, because I feel like they're going to play the game anyways because there's more black people in that game for them to target in a certain aspect.
just like in that post that I made where the guy said I'm gonna drive on the beach at 100 miles an hour, and how ironic that the picture that he posted was the one where it had a lot of black people. So he's basically telling you what he's going to do when he gets the game, and that's to just run over the black, because that's fulfilling a fantasy. Something in real, I'm not gonna say something he wouldn't do, but something he would think twice of doing in real life.
You know, I couldn't help but think about that nasty move that Biden and the other lady there did by putting up that monument of our brother, the young Emmett Till. Because if you know anything about the history of the monuments of Emmett Till, they get targeted every single year.
Yeah.
So it's like a double-sided, it's like a backhanded compliment with these guys when they do those kind of things. Like, I feel that they know that it's going to get targeted, and that's the reason why they put it up. So it's kind of the same thing with this little thing that they got going on here with this GTA. Like, the protagonists are not black. So if it wasn't centered around them, I think that maybe they'd have more of a problem, like a real genuine problem. But since it's not centered around black people that way in terms of it being the central character, they really don't really have anything to really complain about. And the fact that they're talking about basically that there's too many black people in this game, I feel like it's really just a smoke screen. I feel like if you know anything about the history of GTA, you can basically go around and do anything that you want to do. You could be a police officer, you could be a fireman, you could be an ambulance worker, you could do anything. But you can also, it's like a free range. You could also be the biggest gangster, the biggest enemy. And I feel like the more black people they have in that video game, the more people that they have to target. And I think that they know that. I think they love it. Like I said, I feel like they know how they're playing this game. And these guys, they like to play both sides. So I just want to land my plane right there, Torian. I believe that you're doing some good work. I listened to you for like the longest time, man. I love the new black media, man. I appreciate you guys so much. Thank you so much, bro.
Thank you. Shout out to Juice for coming up. Next, we have a writer from Grove Street. I'm trying to figure out who this is.
It was the Sherm head. What it is?
Should have known. What's going on, Kid Gravity?
How are you, brother?
I'm doing great. I was waiting for a few days to finally do this stream.
Oh yeah, I mean, you got to get everything in. You got to make sure everybody says their piece before you do accurate analysis.
Right.
I saw all this shit, but I said I already did mine on Friday. I'm not going to revisit this again until they drop the second trailer and it get worse.
Oh yes.
My bad. Yeah. You know what's funny? When someone brought up Tomb Raider, it reminded me, because remember when Far Cry 6 came out and they said that the lead character was going to be a female, but you get to choose between that or a male, but the focus was to be on a female.
Yeah.
They came out with the same outrage, right? What was the end result of that? It became the game of the year.
Exactly.
I mean, we know it was largely due to Giancarlo Esposito playing the bad guy, but The game was fun. I still have it. It's a fun game. I didn't hear these complaints for Fallout 4 where you could pick a female. I even saw gamers pick the female purposely because she had lower stats, but they wanted to make her look like a badass. So I don't get what the outrage is, but we know it's that white fragility.
Exactly.
But and again, somebody also said something about playing online. Yo, they be having these 6-year-olds calling you, talking about you shoot like an N-word.
Oh yes, that's why I told myself I couldn't do the online gaming because of that right there.
Right. Like you be getting it in, you be sniping them, killing them, whooping that ass, and they be like, man, you fight like a nigger. I'm like, bruh.
Right. Exactly.
Like, where did that come from? But you know what it also is? I don't know if anybody said this too. I don't think they also like the fact that they really thought video games were supposed to belong to them.
Oh yeah, because they feel like they've cornered the market.
Right. Because they think all the characters are white or white passing, and they're the ones that they buy all the games. But I think over the last, I want to say 30 years, you started seeing Black people get more and more profitable off games.
Mm-hmm.
And then you started seeing, when it came to online, like a lot of these esports crews and these, like some of the biggest gamers on the planet are Black people, like Sonic Fox. Like, he rules Mortal Kombat. Like, you see him on there, you play him, you're going to lose.
Right.
And he be having these white supremacists in the spin cycle. Like, he be fucking with them. And I don't think they like that. And then it gets worse when their favorite white gamer says, yo, I have to put Sonic Fox up. I got to put a little Majin up there. Like, those are goats.
Right.
And they don't like that. So, I mean, whatever. We're all going to buy the game. They're all going to buy the game. They're going to bitch about the stuff in here. I'm sure Ben Shapiro's going to play the game and talk about how fun it is, even though it looks woke.
Just like he did with Barbie, talking about He got dragged to go see it.
Right, exactly. And then,
all right.
We'll just pass by this and they'll bitch at GTA 7 when it's going to be a black lead, and it'll probably be in Chicago.
Oh, they'll love
like,
that.
oh yeah, we're gonna show them the per capita of crime in Chicago, but you do your thing, man. I gotta head to this plantation.
All right, I appreciate you coming up.
Yes, sir.
Shout out to Kid Gravity for coming up. And by the way, I'm looking at the queue. Pinky is going to be the last person speaking. So if anyone comes up after that, I'm going to have to boot you from the queue. Because like I said, there's a lot of people that came up. I didn't even expect to be on this long, but I wanted to be gracious and allow as many people to speak as possible. But Pinky is the last person that's going to be coming up. I actually unpinned the link from the top so no one else could click it. But next up, we have Miriam. What's going on?
Hey, what's going on, brother?
I'm doing good.
Good. B1 salute to
you. B1 to you.
Indeed, this is a great topic. I'm glad that you are giving this program today about Grand Theft Auto. We all know that Rockstar is an equal opportunity defender.
Right.
And PCs always whining and pretend to be major butthurt when we know it's, all a big act, them and their woke agenda. And, of course, adding the Skittles Rainbow Community Academy to it when they were depicting the community. It's another one of their hidden agendas. And then I think it's a very accurate depiction that it's going to be for 2025 because, man, from the tats to them dirt biking to the woman, the PC woman with the 2 hammers. They got that from Neighborhood Wars.
That's why I said when I was looking at this, that's why I said it felt so real, not only because it looked real, but because of what was going on in the trailer. I said, that's like, I'm sure for people in Miami, that's every day stepping outside for them.
Exactly. And then as far as them talking about women, as you were saying, Tomb Raider. They definitely had her as, you know, one of the major agitators. And then you have movies like Salt, the Mother, Hannah, and all that. So why are they surprised to see that in Grand Theft Auto? Like, really, they have nothing to whine about. It's just all the force. We know they're going to be the biggest people out here supporting it, because we're definitely going to support it because of how accurate it is, and everyone gets their just desserts. Thank you, brother.
Appreciate you coming up. Shout out to Marion for coming up. Next up, we have Joseph Washington. What's going on?
Salutarian in the chat room. I'm glad you're doing a part 2 to what the Black Authority did yesterday, covering the GTA trailer. One thing I got to say, GTA is going to GTA.
Right.
It's like, as the last caller said, it's an equal opportunity representative doing representation of the places they're doing.
Exactly.
And you know what's crazy? It reminds me of 2 other instances where PC had an outrage. Jax's ending in Mortal Kombat 11, where he stopped slavery using Chronicles Hourglass.
Yeah, I remember that, and I saw the gameplay for that, and more so how his story ended and everything like that. And I remember they was pissed about that. they was like, how dare you rewrite history? We're supposed to be the one doing the revisionist history, not you.
Oh, by the way, I have it saved on my playlist and downloadable, so I will be watching this like right after I get off this stream. Another thing, and this is current, Miles Morales having the torch passed to him by Peter Parker by the end of Spider-Man 2.
I know that riled them up too. I saw that.
But which was like, it's like, hey, this is interesting. I would like for it to see where this goes. And
it's
third,
crazy, and it's crazy too, because it's like, are we going to just pretend like we did not just watch Across the Spider-Verse a couple months ago?
Right. Yeah, and it's like, if you really look at Miles on like biography in Marvel, he has several good stories and several team ups. One of them being Blade and his daughter Bloodline. And the third one, this trailer, which surprises me because I thought GTA was like the ultimate equalizer as far as like, a gaming audience, but apparently it's not. What Kid Gravity said about fighting games and players like Sonic Fox, one thing I've noticed about the white community when it comes to the FGC, they'll consider a fighting game top tier as long as it doesn't have a strong black presence. Mortal Kombat and Tekken are the 2 games I know that have a strong black presence as far as the competitive scene. Kid Gravity mentioned Lil Majin as one, but also Cuddlecore as well. And one of the recent champions of Tekken 7, Genghis Khan. But Mortal Kombat is like, now you have 2 black threats in that game, and that's Ninja Killer and Sonic Fox. So they're the current torchbearers of that franchise as far as the competitive scene.
Exactly.
So it's like whenever you hear them say, "Oh, they're only good at games that nobody plays," that's just a dog whistle for games that have a strong black presence.
Right. Exactly. That's really all it boils down to. Like, the black character is supposed to just be in the background or supporting or being a stereotype. And like I said, when I was going over the trailer again and pointing out how black people in the trailer looked like they were having fun, having a good time, and then you had the PC characters, look like they weren't having as much fun as the black characters, or the black characters were overshadowing them. Because notice they keep saying, "Oh, it's too many." It's too many black people now. But if it was a stereotype there, they wouldn't have a problem. But because there was no stereotype to be shown in the trailer, and there was still too many black people there, then they had an issue with that. That's how a lot of them are not around a lot of black people at a time. You can tell. Like, they would probably have a huge culture shock if they were.
Yeah, and you know what's crazy? You have GTA role playing servers out right now, which they're probably flooding, and they're still pissed about this trailer. Like, I know most of them have ran into at least a couple of black folks on that server.
Had to.
It's like there's no way you cannot. It's like whenever I watch like content creators on like GTA RP, you can count past your hand the number of black people on that server to the point where they have to close some of the servers down due to overpopulation.
Exactly. I can only imagine what it's going to look like when this game comes out. That server is probably going to crash.
Eesh. Oh, by the way, speaking of which, did you see the Blade trailer?
I saw it. I didn't even know they was coming out with a Blade game. Like that came out of left field. Like that shocked everybody because like they really kept that under wraps. But that should be interesting as well. I predict they probably. I don't know when they. Because my thing is, I'm assuming they were working on this game, this Blade game, right around the time, you know, like as long as they were working on the actual movie, but because the movie was having so many issues and pushed back, my assumption is they probably would wanted to have the game come out around the time of the movie. But you know, this is kind of flimsy there. But the shout out to the people for keeping that hush hush because they didn't say anything. Nobody found out they were making a Blade game until a couple nights ago. So shout out to them. But it looks like it's going to be, I have to see a little bit more because that's literally the equivalent of a teaser. So, but I'm sure it's going to be dope because this is his first game. Like this is the Blade's first game.
Yeah, first official game that under a big company. I know they're gonna do right. It would my conjecture would be if the Blade movie comes out before the game, I think that would work out better for the game since they teased that at the Game Awards. This game will allow you to play Blade the way you want to. I was like, oh, okay, so they're gonna do it like the Spider-Man games and like other action games that let you build your character based on a certain skill tree, which I said to myself, okay, do this man justice. And by the way, that was the highlight of the night for me because the Gaming Awards reminded me of Oscar So White. It did.
Yeah, I'm not really like, you know, watching like the, you know, the video game awards like that. Now I will say this. You remember that channel back in the day called G4?
Yeah.
Now that's a channel I used to stay on when I was, you know, like in high school or middle school, because that's around the time it was G4, and they used to have that award show called G4ia. Now that, in my opinion, G4ia was better than the video game awards.
Hey, no arguments from me there.
It was more interactive. They had, in my opinion, more celebrities attend that rather than the video game awards. I would say that G4ia was like the VMAs compared to the video games awards that was like the Grammys. So yeah,
right.
But yeah, let me go ahead and move on because I have like two more people that I have to speak with before I get up.
All right. Thank you for the time, Tarian. And thank you for the chat for listening. I'll see y'all.
Appreciate it. Shout out to Joseph for coming up. Next up, we have Jerome. What's going on?
Hello, you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yo, how you doing, Kareem? Salute
doing
to
great.
chat. Salute to New Black Media. It's white fragility at its finest. They mad, let them stay mad. Listen, they have the problem with white folks is that when it comes to video games, they always have a problem with female characters. I mean, that was the case. Zelda would have been playable in The Legend of Zelda. They even had a problem with Ellie being playable in The Last of Us 2. And Ellie was the central core of the first game. The central core story of the first game. She was arguably the most popular female character.
Oh, I think we lost him. I don't know if it was because I was going to ask what was that noise in the background.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, like are you like where are you at? Because I hear some noise in the background.
Oh, sorry. So I'm by the car wash. Sorry about that. Can you hear me now over here?
Yeah, a little bit. I was going to say it sounded like he was going through a car wash.
Yeah, I was passing the car wash. I was a friend. But sorry about that.
Yeah,
But yeah,
I can hear you a little bit better now.
yeah, but that is crazy, man. They always have the problem. And trust and believe it, they're going to be playing GTA. I mean, we played
Definitely.
over 10 years. We waited over 10 years for the game. And they have a problem, it's too bad. So, and by the way, speaking of the brother who's talking about the Jax character, these people out here have the audacity talking about they play with Jax a lot in the Mortal Kombat game. Let me tell you something. I'm in the FGC, aka the fighting game community. These motherfuckers are not playing Jax. They're not playing Jax. Trust me, I'm probably the only person in the fighting game community playing as Jax and competitive. I normally use Jax, Liu Kang, Scorpion, and Sub-Zero. Those are the characters I use the most. They're not using Jax. It just matter the fact that they had slavery in it, and that was a problem. Like slavery is bad everywhere. I mean, human trafficking still exists to this day. So I don't like I said before. Let them stay mad. Let them be mad. And again, I thank you for giving me some time to speak.
No problem. Shout out to Jerome for coming up. And the last person we're bringing up is Pinky. What's going on?
Hey, can you hear me okay?
I can hear you.
All right, hey, Torian, how's it going?
Everything's going good.
All right, first, I just want to say, when I first found out about the trailer, it was actually through Black content creators that were actually analyzing it. And three of them, the three that I've seen analyze it from beginning to end, none of them brought up race. They just said, you know what, female protagonist? Yeah, I can mess with that. That's what they all said. That's first and foremost. Secondly, I guarantee you that all these PC people that are complaining are mainly males. But what they what they seem to forget is that there are various video games that have come out this year and last year that had mainly white male protagonists. Example, Dead Space 2, the Dead Space remake, which I bought, which was really good. Not gonna lie, because that's like one of my top fives. And then you had Callisto Protocol. The creators of Dead Space made that, and the protagonist is also a white male. And then if you just so somebody brought up the gaming awards. The Last of Us series, who has a white male and a white female protagonist, they won for best, from game to television transition. Again, I don't see why they're complaining, because at the end of the day, they're still winning. And there are various games that they can still go back to. Resident Evil as well. That remake, which I also bought, got a white male and a white female protagonist. What is the problem?
Yeah, they wanted to corner the market in every facet as possible. And really what it all boils down to at the end of the day is that they use these dog whistles. Like you saw some of the posts that they were making, like saying, oh, we're being erased. Oh, they're trying to get us out of here and all types of stuff like that. I said, like, that's again nothing but a dog whistle language to certain people. I'm like, no one's trying to get rid of you.
Exactly.
If the only people that can get rid of themselves is themselves, as far as I'm concerned.
No, you're absolutely right. And here's the funny thing. Going back to the gaming awards, a lot of the developers that were there, a lot of them were Asian, yet the protagonists were white, either male or females. Funny how they're complaining about that. Now I don't know how Rockstar, when it comes to Rockstar, I don't know who's in the background as far as their developers go. But I saw the trailer, and I'm not gonna lie, it is exciting, and I do plan on buying it. But clearly they're doing something. Again, it's just a trailer. You don't know what the gameplay is going to be like. And I just want to bring up one other thing. Do you remember the Dead Island 2 trailer that came out in 2014?
Not really.
Oh my God. Well, in 2014, the Dead Island, the trailer for Dead Island 2 came out. It was supposed to come out the following year, but it ended up coming out this year. So there was literally a 9 to 10 year wait, because the game itself, it was legally changing hands. I just hope that does not happen to I doubt it's going to happen, but they say 2025. I hope they don't push it to 2026 for GTA.
I actually looked it up. The CEO of Rockstar, he's from London.
Oh.
Yeah, he's from London, the CEO.
Yeah, I just hope that when they say that was like the most disappointing part, the 2025 part. Because
like I said, that was the part that pretty much got if I could make a comp video of everybody's reaction when that coming 2025 come up, that's the part right there. Now, again, collectively, if anybody had an issue with the trailer, in my opinion, that would be the part right there when they saw 2025. Anything else is nothing more than a nitpick.
Yeah. But that honestly, because that's what happened with Dead Island 2. When Dead Island 2 came out again, the trailer dropped. If you have a chance, I would highly suggest looking at the trailer and you'll see why everybody was so super excited. But then they kept pushing it from next year to next year to next year. And then they finally said, you know, I forgot what month it came out, but 2023 it came out and everybody was hyped for it. But at the same time, they get pushing. They like every content creator that I saw that played the game, they said, you know, the trailer came out in 2014 and now 9 years later, I just don't want that happening with this one. If you have a chance, look at the Dead Island Truth trailer and you'll see what I'm talking about. Because the trailer itself is fire. And I'm sure in the chat they know what I'm talking about.
Okay, I'll check it out. But do you have anything else, or was that it?
Oh, no, that's it. That's it.
Okay, I appreciate you coming up.
All right, thank you for having me.
No problem. Shout out to Pinky for coming up, and that was the last person to come up and speak. Shout out to everybody who came in here. We had almost 400 people in this chat this afternoon. I kind of figured it was going to be a big turnout because of the topic at hand, but I'm glad everybody came through. Shout out to those who contributed. Savion Draco Zero for being a member for 1 month, and also Mike Mellis John for contributing to the $5 super chat. Also, be sure, if you haven't done so already, to like and share this video. Catch the playback if you weren't able to. If you are newly subscribed to the channel, welcome to the channel. We will be back on here tomorrow. I will have the 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time upload video ready for y'all to go. I hope y'all, that one's going to be an Operation Protect the White Boy / White Woman edition. And when you hear what I got to talk about with that one, it's like, oh, here they go. Shout out to everybody in the Discord, people on the Patreon, those who follow me on Instagram and Twitter. I greatly thank you for being here. Y'all enjoy the rest of your Sunday. Hopefully y'all have a good start to your week tomorrow. Be safe and be one.